Welcome to another video, guys. Today we're going to be talking about Lydia and how you could be building her to get the most out of her. Not gonna lie, back in the day I was kinda ignoring her for a while once I actually unlocked her, but she truly is one of the best champions you could be having on your team in literally any single area of the game. Heck, even including PvP if you're early, but late game obviously she's not that great anymore. Anyway, I'm gonna show you all of the stats you need to be going for, the sets you could be building her for best results, Masteries, Relics, anything in between you need to know in order to do well with her on your account. So I hope you find the video helpful, and if you do, a like and subscribe would be great, and don't forget you can check me out live on stream each Tuesday and Thursday where I do free account takeovers for my viewers. If you want to support the channel for free, you can download Raid from my premium download link and start Raid the right way with 4 amazing champions, and you're also gonna have 48 hours to use the promo code section for an extra legendary champion. And let's not forget you can also get Skeletor in 1 week right now. But now, let's get into the guide. So here she is, Lydia the Death Siren. Let's quickly go over her kit, just for the sake of this being a complete guide. Most of you probably already know what she does, but still, if somebody doesn't, might as well see it here first. Her A1 is pretty decent, and it's actually pretty amazing on things like Chimera, because the fear, landing 100% of the time, is definitely pretty good, and she also has 75 chance, up to 100 again, of increasing the duration of any poison sensitivity debuffs by 1 turn. She also attacks enemies with this skill whenever they place a freeze, stun, fear, true fear, petrification debuff on an ally, and the number of attacks increases according to how many debuffs are placed at that time. 1 attack for each freeze, stun, fear, true fear, or petrification debuff placed. The first attack will attack the attacker, while all extra hits will attack random enemies, can only attack each enemy once. Not gonna lie, this second half I never really read before, but this would work a little bit better on things like PvP, even though I have seen her go crazy with her A1 in things like faction wars and waves and such, so definitely not the worst skill in the world. So yeah, right off the bat, this is a pretty premium skill. It is gonna require 4 Lego books to get the full effect of it, but they're gonna be very well worth it. And the cool thing about the fear on the A1 is you could actually make this into the big fear if you use the proper blessing, but more on that a little bit later. The A2 is where the real money's at, because this thing is a free turn cooldown, 100% chance when booked, of placing big decreased defense, big weaken, and also giving big strengthen and big increased speed on your allies. This is absolutely amazing, guys. Like, this is the absolute moneymaker for Lydia, bringing the 2 best damage increasing debuffs for the enemies, as well as bringing 2 of the best buffs in the game for your team, absolutely essential. So this is the main reason why this champion is so damn good, because usually you are gonna have to bring a decreased defense champion, another champion that brings weaken, another that brings increased speed, and you're probably not even gonna have room for a strengthened champion, but she actually brings all of those absolutely top tier essentials in 1 small free cooldown ability. Of course, for this to work you are gonna need accuracy, like the A1 as well, but obviously she is gonna be having a lot of accuracy in her build. And the last skill is Nullification, a free turn cooldown, 100% chance of placing poison sensitivity debuff for 2 turns, and the second hit has a 100% chance of placing block buffs and block active skills for 2 turns. Again, pretty amazing skill, super essential in things like Chimera. You could also even use her in things like Hydra. If you have a debuff spreader, first you block buffs with the A3, then you debuff spread with somebody like Mickey or something, and that can also work, but this is definitely a very nice skill to be having on things like Chimera, that's for sure. Her passive is also no joke, because she denies enemies revive attempts. This works even if this champion is dead. If this champion is alive when an enemy revives is denied, she revives all dead allies with 50% HP and turn meter, and grants an extra turn instead if there are no dead allies. If this champion is dead when an enemy revive is denied, revives this champion with 50 HP and turn meter, and this skill even ignores block revive. Like, kinda insane, innit? Do let me know in the comments, is there actually another champion that ignores block revive? Because I don't think there is, guys. She also has an aura if that wasn't enough, but it's only for arena, so it's definitely not that premium. She does increase resistance by a lot in arena, but you're not really gonna use her as a arena lead, that's for sure. Anyway, that's the kit, and for anybody that paid attention, you're already gonna know she brings a lot of buffs, but more importantly, she brings a lot of debuffs. So she is gonna need a lot of speed, and she is gonna need a lot of accuracy. So these would be the main things you need to be looking out for when building her, and the best hands down build for her would be 9-piece feral, guys. Here's what my 9-piece feral set looks like on her. It's not the best, but it definitely gets the job done with 340 plus speed, good enough accuracy for anywhere, including Chimera, Ultra, Nightmare, and everything else is literally just gravy. Everything else really doesn't matter that much, as long as she's super quick and has enough accuracy to land her things, everything else is just bonuses. If you do want to get a little bit more damage out of her, it wouldn't be the worst idea in the world to give her crit rate gloves, but if they're not fast, it's probably not gonna be worth it. Anyway, when you're building Lydia, obviously the boot is gonna have to be main stat speed, and you are gonna be looking for accuracy and substats. Of course, she's not gonna be sad having extra defense percent, HP percent, heck, even attack percent. She does deal more damage with attack percent, but don't get it twisted, guys. As long as it has speed on the main stat, that is gonna be the most important thing for the boot, but if you're trying to min-max, accuracy would definitely be worth it, especially if you're trying to build her for Ultra Nightmare Chimera. On the chest, you could definitely go with main stat accuracy with a good amount of speed on the substats. This, for instance, is not a very top tier fast chest for me, but it's what I had to give her, so it's not that bad. Again, the substats are just bonuses, doesn't matter too much. With the gauntlets, you could be going all sorts of different ways. Right now, I use this one just for the sake of having a lot of extra speed. It also has some accuracy, so that's not bad, but giving her a crit rate glove definitely wouldn't be the worst, given she is going to be counter-attacking here and there, and she does have a decent chunk of double hitters, like her A3 is a double hitter, so that would be a nice little extra chunk of damage, but again, just look for the speed. Same can be said for the top row. Speed plus accuracy would be best. This is not a very amazing shield I gave her right now, so it is kind of whatever, but yeah, it is what it is. Same with the helmet. This could have had a little bit more accuracy, but as you guys see, I've already covered the accuracy part, like it is a 9-piece feral, so we are getting a good amount of accuracy just for getting ourselves all those pieces. It's going to be 120, and let's not forget I have her 6-star blessed, so that gives a ton of accuracy as well. And of course, with the weapon, as fast as possible. If you can get her more accuracy, sure, why not? As for the ring, really doesn't matter. Like, if she's dying a lot, give her a little bit more HP and defense. If she's not, you can give her more attack. Really doesn't matter, as long as it's feral, is gonna be great. With the amulet, again, the main stats really doesn't matter that much. If you're missing accuracy, find a little bit more here, that'd be great. The rest is whatever. And again, for the banner, if you're missing accuracy, main stat accuracy would be pretty premium, but again, as fast as humanly possible would be best. The second best option for Lydia when you're building her would be also 9-piece protection, and this is actually how I'm running my Lydia in things like Chimera, because there the Chimera really does steal buffs a lot, and I'm really not a big fan of that. So here's what my 9-piece protection is looking like. It's even faster than my feral, and it still has enough accuracy to do everything I want her to do, so all around pretty great stuff, and all around still kind of the same deal what you're looking for towards stats. This time I did have decent crit rate gloves to slap on her with a ton of accuracy and some speed at least, but again, main stat speed boots, accuracy on the chest, whatever on the gloves as long as they're fast and accurate. Same with the top row. The banner, if you're missing accuracy, give her that. I was already covering it, but this banner is just way too quick to ignore. Again, with the amulet, you could be looking for extra accuracy, that'd be the most important, and if she's dying a lot, you could be looking for a lot of HP percent and defense percent if you need it. Of course, these are endgame builds, both of them. If you are still not here, you could just build her in 6-piece perception, guys. That would be still pretty premium stuff, like getting yourself all of that speed, all of that accuracy. Definitely not the worst idea in the world. The perception set is going to be a godsend for most people in early to mid game, but later on, once you start getting the 9-piece sets, obviously this would be your main go-to point. You could also be using a few pinpoint pieces on her. You could give her a couple of chronophage ring and amulet. If you're having a few of those, that would be a great way to get yourself 10 extra speed from your accessories, which is something you don't normally get. So yeah, using a couple of these, doesn't even matter what kind of stats they have, 10 extra speed, why wouldn't you? And it's actually 11 extra speed because Lydia has a base 110 speed, which is actually huge. If you are going to be building her for something like PvP, however, 4-piece stone skin would probably be not the worst idea. 9-piece mercurial probably works on her, but she's really not that top tier for PvP, guys. I mean, she is decent, don't get me wrong, but if you've already unlocked Lydia, you're probably beyond her in terms of PvP, so there's that. So yeah, to recap, best builds would be 9-piece feral or 9-piece protection, because both of those give you a lot of extra damage. With the feral, you are going to be getting yourself 5% extra damage per each debuff placed by the wearer, and as you guys saw, she does place a couple of debuffs on the A2, as well as potentially 3 debuffs on the A3, and heck, even a 6th debuff from the A1, but obviously that's not going to happen in a single turn, but still, that would be up to 30% increased damage if you have 9-piece feral. However, if you do have 9 9-piece protection. That is gonna give you plus 10% extra damage and also protected strengthen and speed, which against Chimera, honestly, I really like. But if you do have a lot of resistance against Chimera, those buffs are probably not gonna get stolen anyway, so there's that too. But yeah, if you can't build the 9-piece sets, just look for a ton of speed, look for a ton of accuracy. Doesn't matter the sets, could be speed sets, accuracy sets if you're really that desperate, perception set, definitely good, pinpoint, chronophage, divine speed, that kind of stuff. Technically speaking, even relentless would not be the worst if we gotta be completely honest, just as long as it's fast and accurate. Okay, enough about that, let's move down to the Relic. And if you are gonna be using this girl on Chimera, honestly, the Purge Shadow is absolutely insane. Having yourself a chance to get an extra turn each time you use an attack if you have a skill on a cooldown is absolutely essential. And I basically have 18% chance of having an extra turn with my Relic alone. It does also bring a little bit of speed if you level up enough, HP, defense, that kind of stuff, but it's really important to get those extra attacks in, especially if you're trying to do a lot of trials against the Ram form. It's gonna be super good, and it's gonna be pretty decent on everything else, because that is basically gonna ensure all of your team has increased speed and strengthen, and the enemy has decreased defense and weaken at all times. Of course, you could just use something else in terms of Relic, like something that gives you a lot of accuracy, like let's say even the bell, like this thing. If you're missing a lot of accuracy, you could just get yourself main stat accuracy, but for the most part, I would definitely not get her out of Purge Shadow if I were you. As for her blessing, this is an interesting one, but you do need Nature's Bounty if you're gonna be using Lydia to place big fears against Chimera. This is absolutely amazing because this turns your small fear into a true fear against the Ram form, and that is gonna allow you to actually slap big damage without actually killing your nukers, and that is why I have her in Nature's Bounty. Even at a 6-star blessing, this is absolutely insane because it gives me 60% chance of placing the greater version of the small fear she has on her A1, so definitely very happy with this blessing. But if you're not gonna be using her in Chimera for whatever reason, like I couldn't make a good reason if I were you, maybe if you have yourself a much better team, then it would obviously be a good idea to use her in Cruelty. That is gonna give you a lot of extra ignore defense for your other nukers, so all around not bad at all. This is the one you use normally, but if you're using her as a Chimera specialist, Nourish is the way to go, guys. When it comes down to Masteries, here's what I have her in. Nothing too crazy. We get ourselves the War Master at the bottom from the red tree, and from the support tree we get ourselves all of that accuracy, the cooldown reductions, the increased stats, the chance to extend buffs and debuffs by the champion, that kind of stuff. Really standard stuff. You could also be checking out what Hell Hades has to offer in terms of potential Masteries you could be going for depending on where you're using her. Yeah, I think this is the Dungeons Masteries I'm using straight out from Hell Hades if I'm not mistaken. They also have some offers for things like PvP as a debuffer or immunity res for some reason, but I think this is the way to go, guys. No need to make it complicated. She's a pretty straightforward champion, so play her as such. And other than that, that's really about it. Doesn't have to be much more complicated than that. I guess I can just show her real quick, and for you guys to see like how essential the freaking decreased defense and weaken combo really is. Like, let's just go for Doom Tower or something. Let's do the last stage here, and I'm just gonna show you Marius plus Lydia, what that's gonna do. So yeah, let's attack with Marius first without placing any debuffs. Let me just do this first, and Marius A1. And we're seeing 51 up to 102 damage across the board, nothing too crazy. Now let's replay and see what it's gonna be with decreased defense and weaken added. There you go, 138. Definitely quite the damage increase. Honestly, I was expecting even more, but let's do it with increased defense this time on Marius as well. This is with the debuffs added. And look at that, 213 damage just from the A1. Let's see how much it's gonna be without. 153 up to 174 is what I saw, so all around definitely increases your damage by a ton. We could also show how much damage is gonna be with the A2, because the A2 is where the real money is at, but it's a max HP kind of skill, so there's that. Yeah, nothing too crazy, honestly. But yeah, like I said, she's also absolutely amazing in things like Chimera, because against the Ram form, she really does come in with the clutch. She is gonna help you beat this trial, damage the Chimera while it's under fear or true fear debuffs. She's also gonna help you big time with placing debuffs on the Chimera while you have increased accuracy. She brings decreased defense for the third trials tree. She also is big time helping with placing 6 unique debuffs on Chimera and 6 unique buffs on your champions. Against the Lion form, again, dropping defense plus weaken is gonna help you with this trial. She's gonna help you decrease defense on the second trial. And against the Viper, she again becomes super essential because she will be able to block active skills for the Viper, and that would be a huge help for you. She also brings poison sensitivity, so some people even build her in a toxic set here, but it's still not gonna help you deal this amount of damage against the trial with just Lydia alone dealing toxic set, but it is something to think about. And she's also gonna help you here with the increased speed trial on the Viper form. So all around, she is definitely gonna be helping you big time. And like I said, against the Ram form, she is gonna be putting you some big fears with the blessing we have her in, so that would be absolutely crucial for you to be not killing your champions into the Ram form, because when the Chimera is under fear or true fear, Chimera will not reflect any damage if Chimera is under true fear, but if it's just under fear, it reflected half or something like that, right? Can't see it written right here right now, but pretty sure it works like that. So yeah guys, that's about it for this guide. Definitely check out my last video if you still haven't gotten yourself Lydia, and you can check out my strategy there on how you could be unlocking her quickly and easily, as long as you have yourself a few epics and rares. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you found it helpful, and if you did, a like and subscribe would be appreciated, and do let me know in the comments if you already got yourself Lydia or are you still working towards her. Don't forget to check me out live on stream each Tuesday and Thursday for free account takeovers, and if you want to support the channel for free, you can star rate the right way with 4 amazing champions from my premium download link. Thanks for watching guys, I'm Crystal5, and I'll see you in my next video or stream.